I mean, I have a feeling like anybody who's an assistant coach on this team probably has an interview, right? Freya Coombe and anybody else. And I I think they'd be doing themselves a big disservice if they didn't throw a wide net to some of the best coaches in Europe, right? How can you lure them to Kansas City?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Currently on No Other Pod here on KC Sports Network. I'm Daniel Kooser here with Chris Wright to talk all things National Women's Soccer League. Chris, what's going on, man? How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. Quite a wild 2 games to decide who's going to go to the championship. I feel bad for anybody who bought flight accommodations tickets for the championship game that we thought we would go to. But it's going to be an entertaining game.
I think it will be. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent finale to the season, I guess. We've had a week to mourn. I think we're a little more well put together now and can talk a little more open-mindedly about things and not emotionally. But these are, I wanted to see Gotham get here, and they're here, man. And if you live under a rock, it's Gotham and Washington Spirit in the championship game this Saturday night, man. It's gonna be a good one. I of course I have a rehearsal, but I'm not on stage a whole lot, so I will be on my phone watching that game. It's gonna be fun.
Nice, yeah. You can't miss that one. But it's just so crazy to me how Gotham pulled off the upset in the 97th minute. It was 0-0. Free kick by Jaden Shaw, who was the star of the show against us. Free kick, and just looked like the keeper. Somebody ran in front. The keeper thought it was going one way. It just kind of went through all the traffic, right in the back of the net. Such a brutal way to lose. In the XG on that game, Orlando had a 1.15 XG. Gotham had a 0.17 XG.
Wow.
And ended up winning.
See, soccer sucks. And it's beautiful. I mean, anyone can beat anybody, dude. It's crazy. A number 8 seed should never really be headed to the championship. Like, that should not happen. This has never happened, right, in NWSL history. So I'm Team Gotham, dude. I know they took us out, but I'm like, you know what? Go beat them. And Washington has a little bit of fun going on their side too, with Trinity Rodman returning in the final minutes of their game.
It's hard to call Gotham an underdog when you look at the talent on their team. Like, I know seeding wise, of course, but they have so much talent on their team, and the fact that they beat Orlando, the number 4 seed in Orlando.
At Orlando, man. Yeah. They're just on the road.
Yeah, it just makes me feel like, the loss to them wasn't as bad as I think people initially thought, especially without, Cooper and Chewinga.
They played well. They play smart. They're picking their opportunities, man, finding their openings. And I don't know. They got good at the right time, because they had a pretty piss poor October and November. Like, they were not doing well.
You told me when we were at the game, you gave me the stat of like their last win was in September or something like
pretty
that.
Sure.
Yeah. And then they beat us at our place and then beat Orlando. And I'm sure Orlando had that confidence. Like, okay, Gotham got lucky against Kansas City. Won't happen to us. They came over, went to Orlando, and they still lost. So I'm sure those fans were damn near booking a trip to California.
Were there sad faces on the Orlando roster?
Oh,
I did not get to watch live.
There's always a sad and intense Marta.
Yeah. Was she a lot?
I think everybody's just gutted. When you lose, everybody's just gutted. But
sure. I just know she's super animated. So I'm like, if she's super animated when she's excited, I kind of want to see what it's like when she's sad. And I didn't get to watch this game live. So I'm going to have to look up the highlights on that. That gives me a good schadenfreude.
Yeah. And then, Washington they beat Portland. They were the better team the entire way. Washington had a 3.11 XG, and Portland had a 0.31. So, they scored in the 27th and then in the 83rd. That first goal by Gift Monday. I mean, it was a hell of a run, man. Just cruised down the sideline, sprinted half of the field and was able to score. And then in the 83rd minute, just a horrible back pass, just half-ass pass to the keeper. Croy Bethune just picked it, just went right around the keeper, just finished it off. So,
not gonna lie to you, I saw the headline and I did not know Gift Monday was a person, because I've heard of Black Friday, I've heard of Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, and I was like, what is Gift Monday? I said, do we have to give on Monday now and cyber sales? I didn't know.
Dude,
I'm not being stupid. I had no idea.
If Washington doesn't use that as some like merch promotion, then what are they doing? Then get rid of their whole team. Like,
missed opportunity.
Right.
Just oh man. These are great teams. These are two great teams that have been good for a few years now. Like they've got a good thing going on. And it's been at our detriment. I mean, it's that one year that Gotham got into the playoffs because they beat us, and then they went on to win it all. And then, of course, we played. We didn't play Washington. Sorry, we played Portland in Washington. So I got Washington on the mind there. Washington's never been good for us, even in the city. So it's just, good for them, though, man. And Trinity Rodman coming back into the fold. Like, she'll obviously play a bigger part in the championship game, I would think. Who you got in that game? I mean, is it Gotham? Is it the Darlings?
I think Washington is clearly the second best team in the league.
Yeah, luck's got to run out
and they have been for a long time. And I feel like Gotham is feeding on that underdog, like, Jaden Shaw, like underdog my ass kind of an energy. But now they're
she said that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did right after they beat us.
Filthy mouth.
I mean, I dig it. I dig the, if I'm her, like I'm all for it. But
absolutely,
I think their luck's going to run out. They're not playing an underdog role as much in an opposing city. It's a neutral venue there for them. I think it's going to run. I see Washington taking it. And another kind of wrinkle and a league-wide comment here is, it might be Trinity Rodman's last game in the NWSL, because England is trying to coax her, man. Europe is trying to bring her over there, and the NWSL has a salary cap, so there's a lot of conversation going on with that. So she could have played her last game in Washington, and she could play her last game in the NWSL for now. So that's going to be a pretty big storyline, I would imagine.
Yeah, very much so. That would suck to lose her, to have her leave the league. But money talks sometimes, man. Alyssa Thompson, young player, going over to Chelsea, like, it's a no-brainer, dude. You show me the dollar signs, all the zeros in that paycheck. I'm very interested. I'm going to go over there. Just makes sense. So, well, this game, championship game's at it's at 7, right? 7 o'clock. I believe it's a nighttime game.
It is.
And they shouldn't have.
It's at 7, yes.
Oh my God, are they going to have MLS playoffs to compete with as well?
Ooh,
because not necessarily. Saturday there's an 8:30 game for MLS playoffs, so
okay,
not much overlap there, just a little bit. But on the weekend, they will have a skills competition as well. Surprised that we didn't see any KC Current people announced for this. Maybe they declined. Maybe they were asked and they were like, nah, I got my eye on the main prize. I don't want to do this side shit. I don't know. But Croy Bethune's in there. And,
it's kind of wild because she's in the championship. So
she won't play. I mean, she won't do the skills comp. So.
Yeah.
But, Riley Tiernan, Carson Pickett, Rachel Kundananji.
Yep.
Pretty sure I said that right. Ali Schlegel, Brianna Pinto, Delphine Cascarino. So some pretty cool skills challenges they have ready to go for people to watch. Crossbar challenge is one of them. They'll have a relay rumble, which has agility and tire runs and skee ball chip shot stuff. And then there's a gauntlet, where a player tries to score on 5 mini goals against 4 defenders. And the smallest goal is worth the most points. So, And if a goal is lit up and a point gets scored on that goal, that's double points. This sounds fascinating as hell to watch. Yeah. This is like one of those FIFA mini games before you play an actual game on Xbox.
Yeah, I dig it. It reminds me of like way back in the day with the NFL skills challenge, like quarterbacks had to go, who could throw the farthest, who could, accuracy, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Now this will be on Friday over at San Jose State University, but we'll actually be able to watch this next weekend. I believe it's November 29th at like 12:30 p.m. Next Saturday. We'll be able to watch it on Paramount Plus. So might be kind of neat to watch. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Moving on. Let's take our short little break real fast. But of course, we got to call all the Chiefs fans out. You could be on the field, be a little good luck charm at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. You can visit Chiefs.com/GEHA right now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pre-game coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
All right, man. So we got some things that happened while we were gone.
Just a couple.
We did not get to cover that, but what we neglected to cover, because we were just being sad boys, was Lowe's new contract. We were being the sad teal boys. Lowe's got a new contract. That's exciting. Excited to have her stick around. Not much of a question who it was when they were like, a crown fit for a queen or whatever, thinking, telling us they signed them an extension or whatever. And we're like, well, it's obviously the Selly queen, right? Like, who else? What else are we thinking? I think they call Bia the teal empress sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Well, they said queen, not empress. So we were all like, it's Lowe, right? It's got to be Lowe.
Yeah. I mean, if you were trying to be coy about who it could be or, hinted out, that was a dead giveaway. But
yeah,
I'm so happy for her. I mean, I know, she has felt underpaid for many years. And the fact that she's been on Billboard, she does the attacking third from time to time. She's on a ton of promotional material. Her celebrations give the NWSL so much attention. She's a great leader, great player, tied for the most PKs in NWSL history, goes on and on. It's a no-brainer for the team, no-brainer for her. I'm happy, clearly very happy that we got it done. I mean, it just helps keep that continuity, on and off the field. And I mean, I'm happy it's finished. I was a little worried because with new teams coming in, they could throw a ton of money at players, but I'm happy she got paid. Happy she's here through 2028.
Well, and she's a captain, man. She's a leader.
Yeah.
Like a captain in every sense of the word, not just the person who wears the armband. So to have her sticking around and having that leadership in the midfield, in the team as a whole, it's a net positive because there were arguments as to why you could say, well, why not go get a different midfielder? She's on the north side of 30 years old. You know what I mean? Like you can make arguments for wanting to move on from Lowe. And I'm glad that no one listened to those arguments. I'm glad that she's sticking around because I think with my heart sometimes and not with my brain. So I'm excited she's here.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, you can make an argument, and you can make an argument for somebody like Bia too, right? Who's technically no longer under contract. You could say she's like 32, I believe, and injury history is a concern. You can make an argument not signing her, but when you watch her play, she's an absolute monster and can do everything on the field, everything you can ask plus more. I don't know why you wouldn't want that player on the team, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Current thought with their hearts and their brains on this one and with their pocketbook and got it done. So
yes,
here to stay.
And that's the good news. Probably should have hit you with the bad news first, because now we can all pour one out, have some tears in our beers, and say goodbye to Haley Mace. We knew it was a possibility. We knew we could be seeing her for the last time against Gotham in the playoffs, and that fear was a reality, man. She's been here since 2021. That was our inaugural season. It was a big old trade with North Carolina, right?
Yeah, we traded Amy Rodriguez for Mace and Hamilton. And I mean, that was obviously a great trade when you look at what we've got out of it. Obviously, Amy Rodriguez is a household Kansas City, soccer name legend, but I think she retired the following year after that. And we got, an incredible player in Mace and Hamilton. And she has anchored our back line and been, she had a lot of position flex. She played center back this year. I mean, one of the best right backs in the world, could play left back as well. At the end of the day, I think it just got to where she wanted to do something different. Her and her partner just signed an extension with Orlando. Obviously, we don't know where she's going to go, but you just
could go to Orlando.
Could go to Orlando. My hunch says Denver, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think she was just ready for a different challenge in life. And, she still has the pitch side coffee here. But it came down to, we had a lot of defenders who were getting paid, right? We had Izzy Rodriguez, Alana Cook, Kayla Sharples, Gabby Robinson. All of them got new contracts recently. Ellie Wheeler, right back, got a new contract. She was the only one out of contract. You can't pay everybody. Would we have liked to have her on the team? Absolutely. But, you don't want to hinder the development of Ellie Wheeler either. So it was on the wall, no matter how sad it is.
And we don't know specifics, right? We can only speculate. We don't even know if Casey Current offered a new deal. We don't know. Right. I wish they were a little more transparent like that. But then they'd be kind of putting her on blast. Like, yeah, we offered her a deal, but she said, F you, she chose to pursue other opportunities, which is what they said, that she's chosen to pursue other professional playing opportunities. So my thought is we did extend a deal. Maybe it wasn't enough, or maybe it was, but she's like, I just kind of maybe want to go be closer to my partner. I don't know. Time will tell. Writing will be on the wall probably in the next month or so, right? When they start announcing, with the expansion draft and all that stuff.
Well, I know that Utah already had their off-season decisions. They already came out with some of their off-season decisions. The first team to do so, I believe. So I imagine those are around the corner. Now, obviously, with the Current, I don't know when we'll give ours because we have some moving parts in terms of general manager and coaching. So I'm not sure, when that will happen. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of changes coming in pretty fast here.
Nice. Always exciting, which is a good thing, man. I just want to get the next season off to a roll because I'm hungry, coming off of this season. I'm like, I'm not done watching this team play. Another thing happened, by the way, midfielder Jericho, a name we haven't heard in a bit, who has been loaned out to HB Couge, is now there permanently. So signed a permanent deal to stay with them, 2-year contract through 2027. So Jericho joined us last year in 2024, played a lot in that Liga MX Femenil Summer Cup. Other than that, man, she's still kind of on the team if you think about it, since the Longs own that team. I mean, it's still in the conversation. So
yeah, it really felt like when you had the breakout of Chewinga and Banda, like a lot of teams are really scouting Africa pretty hard. Was trying to hit that lottery pick again. And any player who comes over to this team and struggles to get minutes, that's no shame on them, right? It's such a stacked team. I think it's. I mean, they liked her enough to keep her, over there in Denmark. So, I mean, good place to develop. And with Vlatko's new role, obviously he'll be.
Whoa!
Sorry,
not there yet.
Ahead, jumping ahead, but with his new role, like he's going to have a hand in a lot of that. So there's certainly that connection.
Another little thing I would recommend everyone go look. I'm sure it's online, but it's also on their on Casey Current's webpage, kansascitycurrent.com, was a letter from the ownership, a letter to the fans. So that was kind of a cool thing. It looks like the Longs and the Mahoneses put together a few paragraphs worth of stats and best fans in the world and winning the Shield, what it meant, and we're not done yet. We'll do it again next season. So worth a read. I can't read it all here because it's a little long. So secondly, oh shit, okay, so you're just putting the chat there. There is no expansion draft anymore. So I'm over here dropping expansion draft knowledge. There's no expansion draft. I mean, what the hell? Why not?
I mean, I just think a lot of it has to do with the player protection. Like with a trade, you have to consent to a trade.
Yeah, the CBA thing.
Yeah, the pesky CBA that gives players a decision in their life.
Yeah, decisions. How dare they?
Yeah.
Okay,
which
all right,
good for us, by the way, because could you imagine our team how much it would be poached if that
I'm glad you used the chat there because I get to talking. And you're like, I'm not going to be able to get a word in edgewise, so I might as well put this in the chat.
I didn't know how to backtrack, so I'm like, we'll just, we'll throw it in at some point.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Second thing, we're going to enter a FIFA international window. Brazil has announced their decisions already. They called in Bia and Lorena, so that's pretty cool. No Debinha at all, but I can only assume that USA's roster came out yesterday, if you're listening to this. But we do not have it as of this moment. Worth looking up mid-recording right now, I'll tell you that, because that stuff happens, dude.
Never fails, like clockwork. We'll finish recording a half an hour later. We'll see it comes out, and we're like, man.
And that could be on us. We could be like, okay, hey, let's just shift our recording to Wednesdays. What's the big deal? And we're too stubborn, and we just say, nah, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. But that's, good for Lorena and Bia. And I'm sure we see a heavy handful of Casey Current people on the USA team as well. Michelle Cooper probably, and maybe Sharples. God, that'd be nice. I know we've been wanting Sharples to get in there.
Yeah, I don't know if Cooper will because of her foot.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, it's going to be a long off season, right? I mean, I'd like for her to be, I would like Izzy, get Ali Sentnor back in there, Low, Sharples. We'll see.
We'll see. Before we hit a couple of these links you want us to talk about here at the end, let's talk about Vlatko, dude, because that was a weird bit of news that just came out, and we were like, what? And then knowing that it was planned all along, we're like, what? But Vlatko,
we don't know nothing. We know nothing.
Yeah, we don't know anything. Vlatko is no longer the head coach. And if you're like us, you're like, what does this mean? It's like, well, no, he was sporting director and head coach, and now he's just going to do the sporting director thing. So Ryan Dell is general manager, which who was GM? Got can't Carducci. There it is.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a new head coach, and I got to think this isn't just going to be some routine fast hire. Like, this is probably one of the most sought positions in soccer right now.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it was a shock. I remember getting a text from Chip. He was like, how did I miss this? And he said the same thing to me. He probably copy and paste, but I was working. So, I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even process it. And as I started to learn more, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense. They mentioned obviously he was this is what they planned all along. So I imagine when he came over as coach, last year, that this was kind of what was going to be the end result. I loved the fact that he was about to like set the NWSL record for wins as a head coach or manager. And he won't get that because Laura Harvey is slightly ahead. But ultimately, I think it's something he wanted, right? Like he was basically the GM or one of the GMs with FC Casey with Hugh Williams. He had a huge hand in the women's national team and in Seattle. So my guess is he just probably had more of a passion for the sporting director aspect of it. And if that's what you're the most passionate about, then, it makes sense for him to have that role specifically.
Yeah. This is, big news, man. Big news to just replace your head coach right after your best season.
Shattering NWSL records left and right.
It's crazy. But the thing is, Vlatko's still like that head coach will report to Vlatko, right? So Vlatko's still very much in charge here. And might even be at like trainings and stuff and doing a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff that maybe he wasn't able to do as head coach. It's interesting to see what kind of changes happen, what kind of tactics the new head coach brings to the system, or if a lot of the old stuff sticks around. I don't know. I want to get some rumors though. I want to hear some rumors about like who they're considering. I want to know what's the short list. I haven't seen anything yet. I tried to look.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all going to be, held close to the chest there. I would not be surprised.
I couldn't work there. I would be chatterboxing, bro. I'd be like, I got to tell everybody. I got to copy and paste Chip.
put it in your group chat. Like, just
oh my God,
put it out there.
I'd be a mess.
I mean, I have a feeling like anybody who's an assistant coach on this team probably has an interview, right? Freya Coombe and anybody else. And I think they'd be doing themselves a big disservice if they didn't throw a wide net to some of the best coaches in Europe, right? How can you lure them to Kansas City? Having your own
look at Orlando's coach, right? He's from Europe, right?
Yeah. Bayern Munich's coach came over. Oh my gosh. We're littered with coaches who have come over from Europe. The facilities we have. I just wonder if there's too many personalities in the room. I mean, the Longs are heavily involved, right? You're going to have Vlatko, you're going to have, Dell. It's going to be somebody who's going to have to be okay with a lot of the Mahomeses. Everybody's going to have to be okay with kind of all that working together. And it's not going to be okay, everything is now yours. Do what you want to do. There's going to be input from all angles.
Oh, 100%. And if Patrick keeps getting sacked the way he's been getting sacked, he might have a little more time to put into a head coaching search. You know what I mean? The playoffs might not come this year, so he can really go full in on this soccer thing. I'm just saying.
Right. One thing I don't know enough, and I like to learn more, and I don't think we ever will, but that is Carducci and her exit, right? Because it just...
That's pretty abrupt.
Yeah, in the email, in the whole thing, it just mentions at the very end, it's like we thank her for, her time in Kansas City. And she's been one of the reasons, not the main reason, obviously, but one of the reasons why we have such a stack roster. And she was really good with the cap, assuming nothing comes out later that, or anything like that. But she did really good with the salary cap.
Are you saying we're getting audited?
You never know. I still wonder how we have this team, but
it doesn't make sense. I don't really get it.
But she did such a great job with that. I don't know what happened there, but she did a good job. So hopefully she lands somewhere. But even all those players that we brought on board did have input from Vlatko. So it's not like, in football, your GM is gone and he brought in, your whole squad of 53 kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So we're still going to have that continuity, but I'm curious. We'll see.
We'll see, man.
Well, you know what it does remind me of, though? It just, when you look at what the Current is doing, they have the player to pro pathway, the whole Teal academies, and they have this pipeline. And then with Kooser and Denmark, it really feels like they're going for a massive global, in my mind, I'm thinking like Barcelona, right? They have academies everywhere. They have their hands in every country. You take a look at like Dortmund, we have academies here in Lawrence that are just Dortmund, like it's kind of wild. And I think the Current are going to try and do something similar to where they're going to be a household name across the world with women's soccer. I think that's their intent.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%, man. The brand is there.
They have billboards in other countries, by the way.
Do they?
Or the Current, yeah. So, I think when they had the World Cup, I think they had like your X amount of miles from the first ever purpose-built stadium.
Yes.
And then I don't know if it was Morocco, but there was a billboard like, I don't know if it was Northern Africa or Southern Europe, but I mean, they just put a lot of time and investment and promotion into, moving women's soccer forward.
Oh, dude, it's badass is what it is. And to be a part of that team, that group, that fandom, Field Town, it feels great. But we need to take a second break real fast. So give us just a sec and we'll be right back.
Hey, NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? For me, it's the next one. And that's because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. First touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. So your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. Must be 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. The bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, visit dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Welcome back, everybody. Got a couple fun things to talk about here before we send you on your merry way. Chris sent me a couple links here today, and I think they're... Hey, I got to give you credit, dude. I didn't look this up.
I copied and pasted.
This isn't me being smart. I don't know these things. But you sent me this NWSL GM survey. Maybe kind of talking is about USWNT relations, bad salary cap. What do we have to make out of this?
Yeah, so they asked a series of questions, and it's anonymous. So Jeff Kassouf put this together. These
GMs, on ESPN.
Yeah, they asked, every GM anonymously their thoughts and opinions about, what's 15 questions or so about the league. We'll just kind of do a brief rundown here. The first question was a salary cap, $3.5 million per club for the 2025 season, is now set through 2030. Do you worry that the cap will hold the league back from competing with European teams? Keep in mind, this does kind of trickle into the Trinity Rodman conversation. Alyssa Thompson just left for Chelsea. So anyway,
it's a problem.
It is a problem. And the GMs responded 85% yes, 15% no, meaning they think that low cap is going to be a problem retaining quality players, which I think we all agree. I like having a salary cap. That's just how my mindset works. I love how the NFL does theirs. But, there's an argument that if you want to keep the best players in the world, you either have to have no cap or greatly raise your cap. So
no cap.
No.
Interesting. Dude, it makes sense, if that's what it's set at through 2030, it's like, well, we can't really grow for about 5 more years, till that gets changed. Then they talked about trades. Yeah.
Yeah. The question was, now that players must consent to trades, how much has it changed the way deals work and in what ways? 33% said it limited transactions, which makes sense if a player doesn't want to go somewhere or consent to it. 27% improved trade conditions, 20% hasn't changed much, 13% more transparency, and then 7% players force trades more. All part of the USDBA.
Clubs are, a little hamstrung in those situations. One GM said we've lost a lot of trade capital. No draft picks available, allocation money phasing out. When you have fewer things to trade, all that impacts the ability to make these deals. But people said this is how it should have been a long time ago. That if a player wants out, then cool. You want a player to want to be there, right?
Yeah, women's sports are the most progressive in terms of this. You can think of like NFL, NBA, like you can hate being on that team, but they can trade you at a moment's notice. Yeah. And I think women's sports with, WNBA and NWSL, I think they're leading the charge, with that, which I think is a great thing. They also don't get paid as much too, by the way. Sure. They don't get paid enough to be just held hostage on a team. So I'm all.
You ready for this one? In last year's NWSL GM survey, almost every GM said that not every team follows the rules. The league said it would start cracking down on rule breaking, fining Angel City $200,000 and docking the team points, the most severe punishment in league history because the team violated the league's salary cap rules. So, do you think teams are still breaking the rules? Dude, 67% said, yup. Someone said, would I bet my annual salary that no one is breaking the rules? Not at all. Okay.
I mean, how can you look at Kansas City and think that everything is as fair as them as it is North Carolina? I don't know.
Yeah.
Teams have got to be, there's got to be something going on.
I got to tell you, we're not going to get through all these, brother. There's 18 questions. We're going to be here all afternoon.
Should we do half and half? I don't know. Maybe just
do the first 9 and then talk about the next 9 next week or something?
Yeah, why not? Give us a...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got Jessica Berman's performance as commissioner on this next one. You say they asked them to rate her on a 5-star scale, and 2 to 3.5 stars is what she got.
I wonder how much of it took a hit during that Heat game when she basically forced the players to play because they had a TV slot on CBS and the game got postponed anyway. So she clearly put money over players and players' health, and I'm sure that ruffled a lot of feathers.
100%.
A question later on is going to pop up, but are we expanding too fast? By the way, because we just announced Atlanta. This league is growing pretty quickly, especially if some of the other teams can't, if they can't, work with a higher salary cap, right? If 3.5 is good for them, which is crazy because it's insanely low compared to every other sport. I know they definitely make more money than that. But some of these teams might not be able to go compete with other teams in terms of salary cap. So be interesting to see. Kind of leading into that. Do you agree with Berman's stated goal of expanding NWSL from 16 to 32 teams at some point? If not, what's the best number of teams to have? Should the NWSL expand to 32? 47% of the GM said no, 40% said yes, and 13% said unsure.
Pretty split. I mean, it's a lot of teams to have in this league, but it's not outside the realm of possibility, dude. Look at MLS. They've got a ton of teams.
Yeah, I just don't want to, my concern is having a team that just can't hold the standard of where the league is going. Right.
True. And, speaking of that, before Atlanta was announced as an expansion team, they asked them, where should the NWSL expand to next? Atlanta got 27% of the vote at the highest. Next in line was Cincinnati, then Miami, Austin, and Philadelphia. Atlanta's great and all. I would have been fine with any of those other cities also.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati is kind of a no-brainer. Look what they've done in MLS. I mean, they're crushing it. They have a lot of passionate, fans out there. I mean, as long as they can invest in the same way, which I guess ultimately my point is, as long as these teams come in and can invest to grow the game and not just invest to make money, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All right. It's number 7. In last year's survey, many general managers felt that coaches and staff were too vulnerable to player accusations and lacked protections to their jobs. Do you feel the league has adequately addressed those concerns? Kind of split. 40% said yes, 40% said no, and 20% said unsure.
Yeah.
It's a very
pretty
kind of
lukewarm.
Very interesting question.
Yeah. I that's unfortunate, there's no definitive answer on that, but hopefully it's trending in the right direction. This next one actually applies to Kansas City Current. Look at that. Because of the NWSL's 14 active teams, which is the flagship team that is elevating the league most? Now, GMs can't vote for their club. They had to vote for one club. And KC Current got 12 votes.
12 out of
3
15.
votes. One went to Gotham, one went to Angel City, and one went to Washington Spirit. Those are just salty people who were tired of losing to KC. And they're like, I can't vote for KC.
I mean, first of all, I don't see how you could say Washington Spirit. Maybe because Trinity Rodman, right? Just having her face can help grow. But, Gotham and
in an MLS stadium.
Yeah. Gotham
and Angel City and Gotham.
Right. But those are just 2 major, massive cities, New York and LA, right?
Yeah.
Remove that piece. And, it's not even close. Not even remotely close. So I love it, man. It just goes to show that it's just another data point as to how Kansas City is changing the sport forever.
For sure. Now, I bet you could have guessed this next one, though. Which club is holding the league back? That's an easy guess. I mean, you would have said this, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would have said Chicago, 100%.
Chicago Stars, dude. That's not even that's a no-brainer. 40% of the vote there.
Well, you know what? Maybe Houston. Maybe Houston, too.
Yeah, and they weren't even on the top 5 vote getters.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said Chicago first, by the way, but I'm surprised Houston's not there.
Yeah. Louisville, North Carolina, and Utah and Bay FC are there. I'm like, damn, Bay FC catching strays like that? They just got here.
Yeah, they've had good attendance. I feel like they've showed out. I mean, Utah's done, they came back with good attendance. So, I mean, it's not like Houston's 2,500 people, I feel like, are there. So
we'll revisit that next week because that's kind of fun to talk about. We kind of read it like it's a PowerPoint presentation at work or something. We'll try not to do all that again. But
well, it just came out like a couple hours ago, by the way, so we haven't had a chance to truly digest it. True. Yeah, we're treating it like a PowerPoint.
But voting is open for the best FIFA Women's 11 right now. And I believe you can go, I'm not going to read that URL because that's just a nightmare, but it's, FIFA.com, the best FIFA football awards for the Women's 11. Lorena's up there for goalkeeper, man. Why not? This is against people in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, this is someone from Chile and England and Solomon Islands and Spain and Barcelona, all that shit. So Lorena's up there. Who else we got on this thing?
We got
Emily Sams is up there from Orlando Pride. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Is Lorena the only one we got? Sure.
No. We have Claire Hutton, which is awesome as midfielder.
And of course, Chewinga's up there for forward.
Yep. So, and they really take into effect the country part of it too. So, yeah. So it looks like we just got
3 of them.
3: Chewinga, Hutton, and Lorena. So pretty
it's
cool.
Good company, dude. you look at other people up there, man. I mean, Lindsay Heaps is up there from the national team, Barbara Banda's in there. It's
Louise
just
Kelly, Marta, Lauren James, a lot of players from, some of the best leagues in the world.
absolutely. So, you just got to register for free on FIFA.com. You can vote in the men's and women's 11. And there you go. It'd be fun if we won something. I don't know if we will, but it's cool to be on the ballot.
They favor the European
Usually.
anyway.
Yeah, usually. Cool, man. What else? What else we got?
I mean, by the time you listen to this, maybe the 2025 NWSL awards have been released, or the winners have been chosen. They are supposed to, oh my gosh, I had it up earlier, basically early evening on Wednesday is when they're going to be announced. So, I mean, I've looked around. I wanted to get some other people's thoughts and opinions, and everybody had Chawinga as MVP. Not even a conversation. Let's see here. A lot of people had, for defender, a lot of people had both Izzy, Sharples. It depends do you want to look at defender as somebody purely defending, or give credit to Izzy for tying the league with 6 assists? Like, how do you want to view that? Midfielder, a lot of people had Moultrie or Matsukubo from North Carolina. And then for coach of the year, a lot of people are split between Vlatko and Bev Yanez from Racing Louisville.
Come on. What are we talking
I have a problem with that. And we'll see what happens. I don't know how you can give a player or a team who squeaked into the playoffs is coach of the year. She's doing a lot with less, but I don't know.
But how many coach of the months did Vlatko win? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know how you can shatter almost every regular season record and simultaneously not win coach of the year to somebody who got into the playoffs the first time in like 4 years, in 7th place. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, great job. I don't want to be dismissive. I don't want to take anything away from what she's done. It's incredible. But I don't think you can, to me, it's not a conversation. I'm slightly biased, but they both had first round exits, by the way. So you can't.
Yeah. I mean, Bev was great for October and November. Like, yeah, your team did wonderful. Yeah. But come on, dude. It's coach of the year, not coach of the fall. Let's be honest here.
And if you look at players who got better, right? Like Izzy has, become a national team player. Sharples has, just turned it around. Another year with Chawinga, she's now more of an all-around player, not just somebody who puts her head down and tries to score. Cooper has greatly, from when she came in to where she's at now is incredible. Lowe is a national team player. I mean, it's absolutely wild. I don't see how you don't give it to Vlatko, but maybe I'm a little biased there.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's this week though. That stuff gets announced, so It's exciting.
That's it. Okay. That's all I got for you, sir.
Cool, man. Well, we're gonna boogie. Thank you, folks, for being here. Watch the final this weekend. Saturday night.
Who do you got, real quick?
I mean, I think it's Washington, but I would like to see Gotham get it done because I think that's such a cool story, for an 8 seed. So
yeah,
that's who I'm rooting for. But I think Washington's a better overall team. We'll see what happens.
I agree.
So, hey, follow us on socials at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21, at No Other Pod. Email us nootherpod@gmail.com. 5-star ratings and reviews, please. Apple Pod, Spotify, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. So for Chris, I'm Daniel. Love you bunches. See ya.